came into the room and she's like, look at my phone. And then I couldn't see it, so I had to look at mine. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game, but I can't bet against Tom Brady. I have the Bucks winning 31-27 and Tom Brady going to his 10th championship.
Aaron Rodgers and his people were like, they listened to our episode and they said, hold our cheesehead or coat.
Donovan Mitchell, who right now looks to be a superstar.
Just amazing. And I don't care what the Red Sox got for trading Mookie Betts and David Price. The Dodgers, in my opinion, win it. I don't have to see what players they gave up.
Yeah, that's not just the Chiefs. That's Andy Reid. He knows the defenses so well because he's such a great offensive mind.
Well, you said you can't bet against Tom Brady, and as a Cowboys fan and what I just did last weekend, I am not going to bet against Aaron Rodgers.
It was a great series. Game 4 was one of the best games I've ever watched in my entire life.
It just goes to show the offense for the Dallas Stars could not keep up. And when the defense needed to step up, the Lightning's offense just overpowered them.
Chris Paul is one of the most underrated players of all time. He's been the best player wherever he goes, and that includes with the Rockets. Yeah, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. I mean, that's all I can really say. There's 2 of the top 5 players in the league, and they are very, very good.
Yeah, and I really think the Clippers' chance to win the championship was last year, and they were up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets.
Hello, I'm Taylor Hearn, and you listen to The Outsiders' Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our 32nd episode. Austin won the playoff tournament going 10-2, while I went 8-4. Last episode, we looked at the Super Bowl storyline, so make sure to go check that out, as we also did some breaking news about the Matthew Stafford trade as that happened while we were recording. Also, check out our second edition to the interview series, where we talked to Taylor Hearn about all the things from baseball to college to rodeos. Make sure to go check that out, and also follow him on Instagram as he's trying to beat Jose Trevino, who's a Spurs fan, and Taylor's a Mavs fan. And if you're a Mavs fan, you want to do Taylor. If you're a Spurs fan, do not do anything I just said. Don't listen. Today we will be discussing our predictions, varying from the coin toss to who will win the game for the Super Bowl. Austin, I'll let you start it off.
Yeah, so the first thing we're going to predict is how long the anthem will go. The current line, I think, is a minute 59 seconds, but we're going to do 2 minutes to keep it simple. So do you think the anthem, which is being sung by Eric Church and Jasmine Sullivan, will be over or under 2 minutes?
I'm going to say over because Eric Church is a country singer and he likes to have some pretty slow-moving songs, so I think he's going to drag it out, and I'm happy we have a country star singing the national anthem. What do you think?
Yeah, the under is hit from what I've seen pretty recently, so I'm gonna try to ride that wave, and I'm gonna say that the anthem will be at least a minute 59 seconds, if not lower, in time, because I just feel like people try to rush it during the Super Bowl. They want to get things going, they want to see the game, so they try to tell them, hey, don't be as long as normal. But hey, we'll see. And then, so let's move on to our second prediction. Will the coin toss be heads or tails?
I got tails. I'm feeling it. What about you?
Is that because tails never fails?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm going to go heads. Matthew Slater for the Patriots went heads in Super Bowl 51 against the Falcons, won the coin toss. Against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game in 2019, or the 2018 season that happened in 2019, he took heads again. Patrick Mahomes never saw the ball again. So I'm going to ride with heads. I feel like the team, whoever picks, who do you know who picks heads or tails? Who's the away team?
The away team, it's got to be Chiefs, right?
I think it's the Bucks. I think that's why they're wearing white.
Okay, let me
but
look it up.
whoever chooses heads or tails, I feel like heads will win. And yeah, so let's. Are you looking that up?
Yes, just for clarification, the Chiefs were the home team last year in the Super Bowl, so now the Buccaneers are the home team while the Chiefs are the away team.
Got it. So I think the Bucks may pick heads, and I think heads will win. So, do you think that the team who wins the coin toss will receive or kick?
I'm gonna say receive, and I think the Bucks won the coin toss, and they're gonna receive it because every point counts, and I think they're gonna want to start scoring because they gotta keep up with that Chiefs offense. What do you think?
Yeah. So it's technically defer or receive because you're not going to just kick it because then the other team gets to choose for the second half. It's confusing. I don't know why they just say kick and receive and the other team gets it. The NFL tries to make everything confusing, but I agree with you. I think the team, whoever wins the coin toss, will choose to receive because I believe both the Chiefs and the Bucks want to get off to fast starts and both have potent offenses. So it's going to be interesting, but I honestly believe that both teams, no matter who gets the ball, will try to receive to get the game in their favor as close as possible. Uh, so, who do you think will score first?
I got the Buccaneers as I think they're gonna receive it, and I think there's gonna come to a fourth down and whatever yardage. I think the Bucks are gonna go for it on the first play of the drive because they want to keep up with Chiefs offense, and it's a familiar place for this player, so I have Gronk scoring the first touchdown of the game with a pass from Tom Brady, just like
Yeah.
other Super Bowls.
So, I'm going to go on the other side, and I think Darrell Williams for the Chiefs will score the first touchdown. I feel like he's had a relatively good postseason, and I feel like either a short run or a pass from Patrick Mahomes will get him into the end zone for the first score of the game. So, who do you think will have the most receiving yards during the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna go with Travis Kelsey. I think a lot of people are thinking about Tyreek Hill in this spot. While that does make sense, I think Tyreek Hill, for y'all that are just listening, Tyreek Hill had 203 receiving yards. Most of them was from the first quarter against the Buccaneers. So I think the Buccaneers are gonna focus a lot on Tyreek Hill, which will leave Travis Kelsey open. And I think that's going to lead to him having a lot of receiving yards. And he also might do a lot of chip blocking because both the tackles are injured and they're going against some fierce pass rushers from the Buccaneers. What do you
Yeah,
think?
so the Tyreek Hill had 269 yards. He had 203 in the first quarter, which makes it even more impressive. He also had 3 touchdowns during that game. But I agree with you. I believe that Kelsey will get the most yards. I also believe he'll probably get the most targets because Patrick Mahomes knows how to rely on his players and he has a pretty good ball. So I believe that the Bucks are going to decide we cannot let Tyreek Hill beat us. So that basically means you're giving it up to let Travis Kelsey do his work, which will probably slow the Chiefs down relatively because you're not going to get 80-yard touchdowns with Travis Kelsey most times, but you're still going to drive down the field pretty easily if the Bucks don't adjust. So which team do you think will have the most rushing yards?
I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. They have a great duo right now. Well, the Chiefs do have a good duo at the running back position with Williams and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and maybe they might sprinkle in a little Bell in there. I think Fournette and Ronald Jones are doing well right now. Fournette's really come on in the playoffs. He did a great run against the Packers in the championship game. But I think the Bucks have the number one rushing defense, so that's going to severely limit the Chiefs' running ability. So I have the Bucks with the most rushing yards. What about you?
Again, we agree. Back-to-back questions. I believe that the Bucks will have the most rushing yards, but maybe for different reasons. I feel like the Chiefs won't run the ball as much. Tom Brady is known to run the ball more to set a different tempo and to get the Chiefs off the pass as much. But because of those extra attempts, I feel like they'll get more yards. While the defense for Tampa is potent and it's going to be hard to run against them, I don't feel like that will deter the Chiefs too much from running the ball.
Just to add on one more thing about how you mentioned Tom Brady, they also, depending on Cameron Brates, he's listed as questionable. I think the running can really set up that play action, and that might help get Gronk and Cameron Brate involved in giving some more time to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's an interesting take. I hope he plays because I don't want anybody major to be out. We've already had players from both teams be out for this game that we much rather would have seen play. So we need the game as healthy as possible so we can get the best game. So who do you think will have the most passing yards in the Super Bowl?
Give me Patrick Mahomes, as I think they're going to be in a lot of passing situations. They might get sacked. He might get sacked a lot because JPP and Shaquille Barrett are playing great right now, and both their Eric Fisher is out, and they have already a backup right tackle, Mike Remmers, filling in for
Mitchell Schwartz.
Mitchell Schwartz. So I have Mahomes with the most passing yards. What about
Yeah,
you?
for the third straight question, I agree. But I feel like this is because of what I said before. I feel like Tom Brady will try to run the ball more often than Mahomes will, give him more opportunities to pass the ball. And I believe that the receiving core for the Chiefs is more capable of getting open against the Bucs secondary because they don't have the greatest defenders like on man or anything. And if you do man, Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill is going to burn you. So it's just going to be tough. Okay, so who do you think will have the most passing touchdowns?
Give me Mahomes again for your second straight question. I think he's going to have 4 passing touchdowns, as I think they're not going to do much running, and I think he's going to throw some bombs.
Yeah, so for the first time in 4 questions, I'm going to disagree. I think both quarterbacks will throw 3 touchdown passes. I feel like there will be a good bit of rushing touchdowns. So whether it's by Mahomes or Brady or a running back, I feel like those short yardage situations are not going to be like the Seahawks in pass. So it'll be hard. So do you think a player besides a quarterback will throw a touchdown pass? Yes or no?
That's a good question. I'm going to say actually, I'm going to go yes. I'm going to go the Chiefs did do some trickery, I think, on like a 4th down against the 49ers. So I'm going to say, yeah. Maybe if Watkins plays, he might do something tricky. We don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to say no, despite the fact that I do believe there will be a passing attempt by somebody other than a quarterback. However, I do not think that will result in a touchdown. So now we're getting to the most important questions, these last 3. Who will win Super Bowl MVP?
I'm going to go with Travis Kelce. Like we talked about Tyreek Hill having a lot of receiving yards. I think Kelsey's going to do the same, and he'll definitely have over 200 yards, and I think he's going to have 3 TDs. And I think he's going to be a key part in why this offense is rolling. And he's going to be, I think he's the number 1 safety net for Patrick Mahomes right now. Tyreek Hill is a good option, but I think Kelsey is just a great player. And as I mentioned, he's going to be doing a lot of chip blocks. So I think he'll be closer to the line of scrimmage. So he can be a great safety net for Mahomes during this game. What about you?
Yeah, so I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to say Tom Brady. I believe that he will have one of his best Super Bowls ever. Probably his best Super Bowl that he's won. So far, that would be Super Bowl 51 against the Falcons. That was the best one he won. But his best game probably was against the Eagles in 52 when he was the first quarterback to throw for over 500 yards in a Super Bowl. So I think he'll take advantage of the Chiefs' lack of being able to defend the tight end. I believe Cameron Brate, Gronk, and any other Titans they throw in there will have a tremendous game, and I believe that it will help lead Tom Brady to a Super Bowl MVP. So who do you think will what were you say?
I was just going to say move to now it's the very big question.
Yeah.
Let's see if we agree.
The second most important question. So who do you think is going to win and what score?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs because I've bet against Tom Brady ever since his win against the Washington football team. And I would say he's won the battle pretty well. I'm winless against him, but Chiefs are going to right this boat. And I think this is, as we talked in like a previous episode, which you about Mahomes, we talked about the 3-peat for Tom Brady. I think Mahomes is going to take a big step toward maybe trying to tie Tom Brady for the GOAT in the GOAT conversation. So I have the Chiefs winning 35-32, and I think Mahomes is going to play lights out, and he's going to do well with Kelsey. Do you disagree?
I do. I think the Bucs are going to win. Did you say your score?
Yeah, I think so. 35. Just to say again, 35-32 Chiefs.
Yeah, that's close to mine. I have it 37-31 Bucs. I feel like it's going to be coming down to the final play. It could go to overtime, and that's the same score as Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady in their only other playoff matchup. So it could be history repeating itself and Brady getting his 7th championship. And now for the most important question: what will the Gatorade color be?
I'm gonna go orange. Orange is my favorite color, and I have a good feeling about it. What do you think?
Yeah, orange was at the Super Bowl last year, despite the fact that both teams were red. But I think they're going to change it up this year. I feel like they know they have to make it different, and I'm going to go with red. I think the Gatorade color that will be poured onto the winning coach will be red.
Now I'm gonna throw a quick question out to you. Who do you think, by the end of the first half has, or do you think Scotty Miller cracks over 100 yards? Because I think Tyreek Hill is gonna go over 100 yards, and they might have a rivalry.
I'm honestly going to say neither of them goes over 100 yards because I feel like Tyreek Hill is going to be not shut down. I feel like 80 yards is around where I would predict him to go, which is still a very good game, especially if he adds a touchdown catch to that. However, I feel like the defense for the Bucs is going to be keying him more than Travis Kelce, and I believe that's why I feel like Travis Kelce would have the most receiving yards. Scotty Miller is a underrated player, and he has underrated speed. He's not faster than Tyreek Hill, but I feel like people aren't giving the due diligence to realize he's faster than most of the players in this league, and probably the second fastest player. No, that's not right. He's one of the faster players on the field at most times. He's probably the fastest player on the Bucs. The Chiefs have way too many fast players to count. But it's going to be a good game. The wide receiver battle, I feel like, will be dominated by Mike Evans because I feel like he will be one of the most important players if the Bucs do win, as I predict, is Mike Evans having a good game. Because I feel like Gronk and Brait will get theirs because of the lack of defense against the tight ends this season. They're the fifth worst in the league. So when they start to commit to stopping Gronk in them, as we saw last time where Mike Evans had 2 touchdowns against the Chiefs in week 12, I feel like history will repeat itself and he'll be an essential part of this Bucs offense.
Yeah, so you talked about tight ends. I'm going to say, like, they may do well. I think Tyrann Mathieu is going to be a big part, as I'm pretty sure he's gone up against Gronk in the past when he was with the Cardinals, maybe even when he was with the Texans. And I think he's going to be part of, I think he might make some key plays against Tom Brady, as he's kind of that moving part in the Chiefs defense. And I think that's what makes them so good, as they don't really have a lot of key players. They just have not a lot of key players. They just have a few key players like Mathieu, Frank Clark, and then why am I forgetting Chris Jones? And I think Mathieu does really great job of helping that secondary do well. So I think he's going to be a key part in helping limit the tight ends.
Yeah. I feel like Frank Clark is an overrated player. He's 92nd in the league in pressures this year, percentage for every pass play. He's gets pressure 92nd in the league, 92nd best at that. And I feel like he's even worse than we even see by stats because of how great Chris Jones is. Chris Jones is second to only Aaron Donald as a defensive tackle. I don't feel like he gets enough praise, and I feel like Frank Clark gets too much. And then Tyrann Mathieu's just right. Tyrann Mathieu's a very good player. The defense is going to be interesting. Frank Clark has to get pressure, but I mean, he's going against Tristan Wirfs, who is the right tackle for the Bucs. And that's a tough matchup for a player who struggled this season. Let's just hope he doesn't make a D Ford type of error, and everybody on the Chiefs will be at least okay with what he performs with.
Yep. So it's definitely going to be a great game. We hope you all have a great time watching it. And let us know your thoughts of the predictions down below. And make sure, before the episode, to talk to Taylor Hearn, a Texas Rangers pitcher who has a lot of thoughts. And we'll be back to you. The next episode, I believe, will be our NBA episode. We did say NBA was going to be first, but we wanted to talk to you about the Super Bowl, as that was the biggest upcoming event. So next episode, we will be talking about the NBA. Have a great Super Bowl weekend.